Vaibhav. In today's session, we are seeing the Euro USD hovering around 1.215, and it looks increasingly likely that we will see the Euro USD heading towards the crucial target zone of 1.22. So, we will be looking at the technical trading opportunities in this session of market movers, and we will try to find the key levels which can help us optimize the risk reward ratio. And if we consider the trading context for the day, we are seeing continuous bearish momentum prevailing in the equity segment. The sell off really started in yesterday's session, and today's session, you can say, is more of the continuation. But I think for a larger part of this week, we are likely to see this bearishness prevail. And if we have to go by the current market mood, we will be better off if we go for the short sell opportunities instead of trying to catch the falling knife. On the data front, we didn't really get much major releases during the US trading hours. For the euro area, we got these ZEW Economic Sentiment Index data, and it has gone on to touch the two-decade highs. The last time we saw this kind of reading was way back in March of 2000, and now here we are in 2021. So almost more than 20 years have passed. And for the month of May, we have the ZEW Economic Sentiment Index at 84, which is a lot higher compared to the prior reading of 66.3. And along with that, we also got the ZEW Economic Sentiment Index data for Germany. And here also, the substantial gains are fairly visible, and we have the reading at 84.4, and this is happening because we have widespread removal of economic activity restrictions which were in place during the pandemic. And now that we have the rollout of vaccination, and the pandemic is more in control, the more and more governments in the euro area are feeling confident enough to lift the restrictions and allow the economic activity unhindered. So, as a result of that, these economic sentiments have soared and gone on to touch two-decade highs. As we are going to look at the light crude oil's technical aspects, we also have to keep in mind that later in the day we have these American Petroleum Institute's crude oil inventory data coming in, and if we go by the recent trend in the inventories, we have seen drawdown, and I think for this week also, for the weekend at 7th of May, we are likely to see similar kind of trend holding, and the expectations are that we might see the drawdown of around 2.25 million barrels. So we will see how this unfolds, and if we consider the light crude's consolidation so far in the session, I think it will be better for us to go with the short selling opportunities. Let's start with the technical outlook. First, we will consider the Euro USD, and then we will move on to the light crude oil. This is the daily time frame chart, and here we have this Euro USD holding up around 1.215. We have this breakout above the prior swing high of 1.21, and if we go by its strength in today's session, I think 1.22 is not really far, and in due course of time we can expect the Euro USD to climb towards this prior swing high established around 1.225. So that looks likely, and in this session we will be, of course, looking for the trading opportunities. So we will have to rely on the lower time frame chart, on which we can see that the resistance is there just little above this 1.22 level. The first resistance of this month's pivot point series is at 1.2207, and till that level is reached, I think we can expect this bullishness, this upward trajectory to hold well for the Euro USD. And for the session, for today's session in particular, we can continue to rely on the low established in the early hours of today's session around 1.212, and if that price level is not really broken again, we can continue to look for the buying opportunities. If we consider the regression curve, it has flattened and started to move in the opposite direction because we had this long consolidation phase in which we had this bearishness and then sideways momentum. As a result of that, we had this regression curve tilting on the lower side, but the reversal from those levels have been equally fast. And now that the price action is back in the upper band, and even it is trying to cross above it, I think if we allow a couple of sessions to pass, we will of course see a different picture, provided we don't really have any strong breakout on the lower side. So if we want to go for the trading opportunity in today's session, I would suggest holding this immediate swing low as a crucial marker. So as long as price is holding above this, the price zone of around 1.213, we can be quite hopeful of the continuation of the bullishness. So if you are fortunate enough to get the entry anywhere in the vicinity of 1.214 to 1.215 after due consolidation, you can try to initiate the long trade while keeping the stop loss just little below this immediate swing low. If we consider this technical formation of the three SMAs, we have this crossover in place, and in near term, as long as this price action is happening above 50 SMA, I think we have reasons to be confident enough for the buy trade. And if we see the break on the lower side, then I think the correction can deepen, and we will have to wait for the USD to get on the lower side, and after that we will again need to wait for the consolidation to take place, and as and when it tries to shift gears and some buying momentum comes in, we can think about buying opportunity. So in this session, focus on this price zone, the price area above the immediate swing low, and this is where the opportunity lies. And if we have the breakout on the lower side, then I think that will be the moment to hold back and sit on the sidelines till better clarity emerges. Now let's move on to the commodity segment, where the instrument of choice is light crude oil. This is the daily time frame chart, and here we have the light crude oils daily time frame chart, and the reversal is taking place closer to the immediate swing high. So last time around we had this consolidation with double top formation, and after that we saw that the light crude oil corrected and went even below the important level of $60 per barrel level, and after long consolidation of almost a month, it reversed gears and climbed back toward this area. But it looks likely that again it is losing momentum, and we can expect this bearishness, which is now creeping back in the light crude oil, to take hold, and we can expect a move toward this lows just above the $60 per barrel mark. Right now, we have the light crude oil trading above the $64 per barrel level. So we are having quite a lot of room on the lower side for the light crude oil to move. And as a result of that, I think good trading opportunities are emerging for us to take advantage of. So here, if we consider the price formation, we have this consolidation with resistance of this month's pivot point series proving a difficult hurdle for the light crude to cross. So from there on, we had this reversal, and now the formation is becoming of a lower high, and unless and until we have the breakout on the higher side above this prior swing high, I think the current bearishness is likely to prevail, and in near term we can expect a move toward this first support, which is there around central pivot point of this month's pivot point series, which is around USD 62 per barrel level. So we have this possibility of a further move on the downside, at least of 3 percentage point, and that's a quite a trade, I would say. So if you want to look for the trading opportunity, the convergence area of these three SMAs, the 50, 100, and 200 SMAs, which are converging towards US dollar 65, are likely to act as a strong resistance point. And if we go by the price action which has unfolded in today's session, it has indeed proven a tough zone for the light crude oil to cross and hold above. In the earlier hours, we had this consolidation where we had the light crude oil hovering just below this 200 SMA, and after that, these sellers pushed the price further on the downside, and now that we are likely to see a clear cut breakout below these immediate swing lows, I think the price can be expected to move towards US dollar 63. Maybe that is likely to happen in today's session. Of course, we can't be sure with the timeline, but the probability looks quite high. So, if you want to go for any trading opportunity in the today's session, I would say that the price area of around US dollar 64 is a good price area to try to look for a fresh initiation, the new trades, and we will have to keep the stop loss above these convergence of 50, 100, and 200 SMA. So we will have to take a bit of risk here. So because of that, if we are fortunate enough to get the entry anywhere above this US dollar 64 level, maybe the ideal price zone can be considered somewhere closer to the US dollar 64.5, as that will cut down on our stop losses. But looking at the current price formation, I think that will be a tough ask, and that's why I said we need to be fortunate enough for the light crude oil to first show retracement around that price area, and after that we are also going to need the consolidation to take place first, while waiting for the new entry to go short in the light crude oil. And on the lower side, the medium term target can be kept closer to US dollar 62 per barrel. And if you are looking for pure intraday trade, then I think even the price area of US dollar 63 per barrel should be good enough, as it is likely to give the risk reward ratio of 1 is to 2. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. A fabulous day ahead. Thank you all for joining in. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.